What's up, guys? Frost here for Guardian TV, and first, before I start, I want to give a big shout out to a couple of people who made comments that were pretty shocking to me on our last video. One is Matt Beard, and the other is Jenna Bama, because I had asked the age of people who are still playing, because everybody keeps saying it's kids. Jenna Bama is 73 years old, and her comment states, and I have it up here on the screen, she's a level 33, which is actually higher than me. She gets the exercise that I never knew I would have walked before if not for Pokemon Go. Many senior citizens play Pokemon Go as well as professionals after work for exercise, mental stress relief. That absolutely awesome. Today I wanted to list the top 5 attackers coming to you very, very soon from Generation 3. Also, guys, do me a favor, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like button. We're working our way up to the big guys up there. We're almost at 60,000. I'm hoping to hit that number by the end of this weekend. All right, so number 5 on the list. Number 5, and I'm probably going to butcher this name like I do all the others. Gardevoir. Sounds French. This sucker is pretty much going to be an absolute hit, probably a top 10 overall Pokemon in the game. It's a Psychic Fairy type, not the first one of that type to be introduced. That's Mr. Mime. He was the first one. He's a regional out in Europe where you were able to get him. Max CP of 2964, a really nice attack at 237, a pretty good defense at 220, but a pretty crappy stamina at 136. But hey, you can't have it all, right? It was be higher on the list. High CP, almost in the 3000s. It's got a very good, and it's top of a lot of first and second generation competitors out there. I mean, this one is going to be doing, it doesn't look like much, but she is definitely going to put a wallop all the way around. Not a bad gym defender. Keep that in mind, too. At a 220, that's pretty good. With an attack at 237, not bad, and nobody likes really fighting Psychic Fairies. So, now, if I had to compare her to at least one of the Pokemon that are out there right now, probably like Alakazam, except, well, better. Like most of the Pokemon in Generation 3. Alright, so number 4 on my list, one of the more badass, cool-looking type, just amazing Pokemon to come out of Pokemon 3. Super excited for this guy, Blaziken. Blaziken is stepping up as a starter of the game with a super high attack at 240. That tops both Charizard and Typhlosion's attack, both at 223. And he's got a fairly solid CP at 2631, rather close to its predecessors. Blaziken's shaping up to be kind of a mid-ranked attacker tier, but going to be really good to get. Plus, you can evolve him. You don't have to actually find him. He has 2 evolutions, Torchic, Combuskin, and then you get Blaziken. So figure it's going to be that whole 50 candies, then 100 candies type situation. It's kind of a low defense and a very low stamina at 160. Defense is a 140 fun. So, I mean, you're going to have to be doing a lot of dodging in order to survive in battle, but that's really not that big of a problem when it comes to Pokemon Go. I think everybody's kind of got that down by now. So make sure you just get that out of the way. Anyway, let's get on to number 3. Alright, so number 3 is kind of a unique Pokemon. It's the first of its kind, which is a grass fighting type. I give you Breloom. Not exactly the most intimidating looking Pokemon. It's kind of the cross between a mushroom and a chicken. The easiest way I can kind of explain it, but got a pretty decent CP at a 2407. Good attack, 241, defense 153, absolutely crappy stamina like most attackers out there at a 120. So, but it is the first of its kind to have a grass and fighting type. But you have a kind of a hard time making its way as a defender tier. It's probably going to be somewhere around the bottom of that one, mainly because its defense is only a 153, which is kind of junky. It does have a very strong attack. Just make sure you have to get it with Glass Cannon. That is its main one that you want to get. If you get it with anything else, forget it. You may as well just toss it in the trash because it's not going to do anywhere near what it really needs to do. So Glass Cannon is definitely where it's at. Again, not exactly the most aggressive looking Pokemon out there, but sometimes it's the sleepers that do it for you. Just don't try to make him a gym defender. All right, so number 2, and then I'm going to get into number 1. These are a couple of my favorites, and I don't say that lightly because there's a lot in Generation 3. Generation 3, I honestly have been looking forward to more than you can possibly imagine because honestly, Generation 2 is kind of on the, I don't know, the lame side in my personal opinion. But number 2, and this is probably my favorite. If anybody didn't know this by now, my favorite Pokemon in general, I give you Metagross. He's one of the best Pokemon to ever be introduced in Pokemon Go, or Pokemon for that matter. He's got great stats. His CP is outstanding at 3644. He's got an elite attack at 257. Very good defense at 248. You can't really beat that for an attack that high. His stamina's on the low side at 160, though. But, listen, you can't have everything. There's got to be some give. And let me tell you something. That's still, to have an attack that high and a defense that high, having a stamina at 160 is not that bad. I mean, I would actually expect it to be lower just to offset it a little bit. It's a Steel Psychic type. He's a monster no matter what. Also, you're able to evolve to get him. Again, 3 steps. Peldum, Metang, then Metagross. So again, 50, then 100 candies. Nothing to sneeze at. If you can find one in the wild, good luck. I figure this guy's rarity is probably going to be somewhere along the lines of Tyranitar or Dragonite. So keep that in mind, especially the next one I'm about to give you, which is the #1 in my personal opinion. And for anybody out there who doesn't think so, this guy is going to simply piss all over every Dragonite you find. All right, so #1 on the list, and I know some people out there are going to go and say, wait a minute, #1 should be Slaking. Because as you can obviously tell, I'm leaving the legendaries out for obvious reasons. The problem with Slaking is, as I've said in other videos, is that yes, he has a huge CP of over 5,000, a huge attack, defense, stamina, so on and so forth, but the problem is that he has these attributes about him that make him only be able to attack once every 2 turns, which is the reasoning for the huge number. So that type of ability is not built into Pokemon Go, so I don't know how exactly they're going to get that to work, so I'm leaving him off the list right now. Sorry, Slaking. Go back to being lazy, laying on the couch. #1, Salamence. Hands down, Dragonite beater, huge CP, 3,500, huge attack at 277, defense is a 168, stamina is a 190, which kind of makes sense. It's very, very balanced if you look at the actual numbers itself. He's one of the most exciting additions to Pokemon game all the way around. He's a beast. Flat out and simple, huge CP, 3532, along with Metagross, Slaking. Salamence is probably a top-tier addition in Generation 3. He's basically the Generation 3's equivalent of a Dragonite, but he's a lot better. He is going to destroy them, and he looks mean. A Dragonite kind of looks like, I don't know, Barney, except orange with little wings. I don't get it. Salamence looks like he'll rip your neck out and basically just spit it on the floor and then stomp it out. I mean, that's basically what it looks like to me. Unevolved form. Even his unevolved forms, Bagon and Slagon, top a lot of the Generation 3 Pokemon in terms of max CP out there. Just for an example, Pagon's, his max CP is 1,053. That's his beginning. His attack's a 134. Shelgon, a 2,000 max CP. So just to put it out there, even his base situation, before you even evolve him, are pretty damn amazing. Again, in case you haven't figured it out, he's a dragon flying type in his 3rd form. So that's pretty much it for me. I wanted to put it out there. Those are my top 5 attackers for Generation 3, which I cannot wait for them to get out. Pretty much what we're going to be doing next is probably top defenders, which is going to be a little bit more difficult of a list, because I'm going to tell you right now, none of them top Blissey. Not even close, and that's not going to happen for a very long time. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you like, and I'll catch you next time.